All right. But yeah, so we'll do this for an hour. We got a hard stop. So uh yeah, so Toronto Pro should be going on right now. Have you seen this girl, small but mighty?
Nope, but
Like
I'm interested.
here, let
Small but
me
mighty on my that's my type.
shoot. Yeah, let me show you. Um, I think it's on Bison Tries. Um,
He
so
is very impressive.
it, she is nuts. I am so like just in awe of her physique. This girl, look how shredded she is. Small but mighty, Sarah Bradley. Her updates though, man, she is peeled to the bone. Let's see. So what this was probably a couple days out. No, it's
I think if you close out of this, uh, one of the side tries I think shows like some of the how tight the skin is on her glutes.
yeah, that's what I
Maybe
wanted
a
to
few
see.
posts back. So if you scroll down a little bit, I think it may be that one you just
Oh,
What the f- That's
I think
so
the
impressive.
video I think is like one line up.
okay.
I think.
Uh, this one maybe,
Give
No.
me some pasties and send her into the open lineup.
bro. Gnarly, right? I
Should make those
mean,
guys look fat.
it
Right?
is freaking insane. But dude, just from usually people don't look good on the videos, you know what I mean? Like the quality.
Mhm.
I've only so like she's like a Roman Fritz, you know what I mean? Just peeled. That's freaking insane, man.
Remember when we seen Roman at the Tampa Pro? That still might be the most peeled person I've ever seen, like with my eyes.
Yeah, and like Kamal, I mean, he just like even with Kamal's like serratus, but like even looking at the screen that they were projecting Roman at that show, and then you look on stage, you're like he was shredded on the screen, and then in real life he's like even more shredded. And you're just like, how? But this, I don't understand how she got this lean. I would love to know like like her rebound must be insane. But
There must be a lot of T3 in there, but she holds her size crazy well. So at this point, is bodybuilding, does it really matter how she got in shape? She's peeled.
yeah,
Right?
I mean, compared, it's kind of fuzzy compared to the other girls. But this is, I don't know really what's going on with the Toronto. Like they haven't done men's open yet, have they?
I don't think I haven't seen anything about it. I haven't been on Instagram too much today, but
I was on for
Me,
like the hour drive back to my place after my session, and I didn't see anything. So I don't think they've even had prejudging yet.
okay, because I saw Eric Wood just posting some of his meals and such. Um, uh, I remember seeing Eric in Tampa and back like whenever he was just growing, you know what I mean?
mm,
And he is so much more improved.
mm,
Um, but this guy, freaking, so he's going to
Well,
go head to head versus Quint.
mm.
so just get it on the table. Does anyone expect Quint to lose this show?
I
Because
think
looking at the
Blessing could
updates,
challenge him if Quint isn't peeled because I mean Quint always looks good on Instagram and then he shows up a little bit disappointing on stage.
yeah, but Blessing's had that. Like, didn't he have a leg injury? I feel like the last couple times I've seen him, he had some pretty big discrepancies in his legs.
There have been, but I think he's just a bit more filled out than Quintin. I'm not saying he's going to win by any means, but I think he'll be probably the closest challenger.
Yeah, if Quint doesn't come in and peak well,
Because Because does Quintin even have a coach right now, or is he still doing his own thing?
I think he's doing his own thing still, and he he's been peeled enough. So I think when Jansen had him, he got emaciated, right? And so he
Mhm.
lost so much of the fat cells there, and so he's in a much better place than Andrew and Samson, I believe, because he's already been that peeled. And I think it's easier for him to maintain that like thinner skin quality. And he has to peak himself right. And I don't know how many times he's like played around with it himself, or if he has like a good second eye. Does he have like a guy Cisternino in his corner?
Mhm.
But uh, I like Quentin shape, but Eric is just. I mean, he's got good shape. He's thick. He's filled out. But he is peeled. Um, and then Dorian Haywood had some good uh, shots from the last show as well, and he should be in this same show too. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's any other updates, but I just that small but mighty girl, dude, just nuts. Like hands down, props to her. Um, I don't know. Is this last year's stuff? I don't know.
I think it must be because like I was like trying to look in like the stream. It's just advertisers on right now. So,
Okay. So this is 32 minutes ago.
oh, it
First
may have
look.
been like a first look. Yeah.
So, I mean, again,
Are there any other
picture.
pictures, or is that it?
That's what I'm seeing right there. I mean, just from that,
And
um,
then maybe I'm just being overly critical. Legs look to be in mentally, who cares? Uh, Legs look to be in good shape. I'm not seeing a ton of definition. There's some good definition in the chest. I feel like arms could be a little bit leaner, but that could just be kind of skin texture because he's a black guy and they never really have that super thin skin. Again, I'm being super critical here on purpose just because his critique has really been really bringing that condition with the size, and he hasn't been able to do it yet. So, I mean, if he's not in shape, I feel like someone could be challenging him. It's not a walk away show. And I feel like if
yeah.
he's going to be in the talks, like, oh, Olympia top 10, this needs to be a walk away show for him. And it's not.
I mean, I can't really tell with this shot. Like, is there a gap or not? Did he keep that fullness from behind? Um, I don't, from this picture, I don't know if he's actually conditioned enough. Like, did he spill over just a tad bit? But again, it's
Mm.
just pictures, which it's
You
so
see
hard to tell
kind
with
of
these
in the
pictures.
lower back there, there's still some skin folds, which you don't usually
Yeah.
see on guys who are peeled.
Yeah. Um, so it's hard to tell from these. There's
Especially from
Blessing,
the
there,
angle.
but Blessing also has that genetic problem with his joints and stuff. So his leg development is going to be lackluster. I
Mm.
just don't think that he's ever going to be symmetrical enough because his knee is, you can see it's pretty full of
Yep.
fluid, and he won't get that fixed unless he gets some sort of stem cell or something. I mean, he might even have to
Mm.
do a knee replacement if, depending on what MRIs and CTs look like. Like, I don't know if he's even thought about that, but
I mean, Roman's
he's,
had like what, 4 hip replacements, so it can be done.
yeah, because he has some sort of um, what does he have? Um,
I
I
have
can't
no
remember what
idea.
he has. He's like hypermobility. So like whenever he does like leg extensions or like squats, I think when he locks out like a normal person would, like their tendons and ligaments would stop that, but his don't. I don't think it has enough reaction time. So
Okay.
I think he just he hyperextends it, puts him in a vulnerable position, and even if he doesn't, you know, injure himself, enough damage keep doing that, you're going to create a little bit of discrepancy, and in
Mhm.
your cartilage, and then that just will kind of put that fluid in one specific area in that bursa. And so he probably have to get it drained often. And I think, yeah, depending on whatever he does in the long run, it's going to be an uphill battle for him. But Quintin, I don't know how he looks. I don't, this who is this? I don't know who that is.
I think
So
this
that was
AI is lying to me. It said prejudging is 9 a.m. EDT, whatever time zone that is.
Eastern Daylight,
I don't know.
but that would have been like 8 a.m. my time, and I haven't seen any pictures.
Neither have I. And then it says 3 p.m. for finals, routines, that stuff. So it said that started at 3, which I think this is lying to me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have the
Yeah,
stream on down here in front of me, and I have not seen a single person come on stage. It's just advertisers.
yeah. Well,
Disappointing.
yeah, and I don't really care about any of the other um people besides that girl. Again, that girl is just freaking insane, man. Uh I don't know how she like man, her AI's that use, her T3 use, I just don't I freaking don't understand it.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous condition.
Yeah. Um all right. So didn't really have too many questions.
I had
Uh,
one or two that I got from last week's that they came through after the pod, so we didn't get a chance to answer them. Let me see if I can pull them
let's
up.
yeah, let's do it.
I know off the
Uh,
top of my head, the first one was you may not be able to answer, Andrew, because you are, but if you could be sponsored by any company, what would it be?
There it is.
But not so you'd be a ghost guy, TJ?
No, I'd be a Gorilla Mind for sure.
Okay.
No, I just found I was on my way, couldn't stop at like Vitamin Shop or anything. So
Mhm.
gas station had the go, so grab some 7 Up.
Mhm.
wait, the question was could be sponsored by any company?
Yep. So like let's say like for sponsorship, we'll just because companies pay different amounts for different athletes, we'll just say as much free product as you want and you to represent them.
Hmm. HEB.
Okay, let me rephrase. How about what bodybuilding or fitness company?
Yeah. Um, man, I don't know nowadays. It's so hard to like man, I'm not like loyal to one company, I think. Um,
Mhm.
um, you know, what would be the biggest bang for my buck? APR, if Mike would sponsor me, that'd be great. Get all my peptides. Um, let's see. Vivo Barefoot would be nice, so I don't have to spend all this money on my shoes. Yeah.
No, probably like the best answer that I heard, if we're just going for I want to save as much money as possible, would be like a Mega Fit Meals or a trifecta, so you get all your food for free.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That's why I went with HEB for that,
No,
But
Yeah,
a Costco sponsorship.
Costco.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
You just walk in with a cart once a week, whatever you need.
I'm an executive plus member. Everything's free for me. The travel free, gas free. If I want to buy a grill, free.
What
That
about
sounds amazing.
muscle sport? That'd be great. Save
I
a lot
just
of
bought
money
a
on
bunch of
protein.
protein from them.
I know I saw that.
I mean, it was a
Um,
good deal, but I didn't
so
need to buy it, but I still did.
what is get off on here? What's your flavors? Now,
If I could have
I
chosen any of them, I would have said like the white chocolate peanut butter looked really good to me. I've heard good things about like the black forest cake and maybe like the Dubai chocolate. normally I'm more of like a chocolatey guy than a vanilla guy. The huckleberry cheesecake interests me because I like both huckleberries and cheesecake. Tillamook had a really good like huckleberry ice cream that I used to love. So that would have been nice.
Why don't they have all the flavors on here? I thought they had tons of flavors.
I think on their site you have to look in the vault to see all the limited edition ones.
Mm.
I'm not sure how
The
you get to
monster
the vault.
cookies.
I
The
got like
monster
five
cookies
of
are great.
those because it was 10% off if you buy more than one of it, plus 20% off on the brand, plus a 10% coupon. So they came out to be a very good deal. So that's why I got a
Yeah.
bunch of them, but it
Yeah.
didn't
Protein
particularly
prices.
excite me.
Yeah. Protein prices are ridiculous, man. And it's just, I'm sick of companies like buying the whey protein or protein sources and putting it into Pop Tarts and Doritos and stuff
Yep,
and just taking it all. I I don't like that. It's just I feel like that's cannibalizing some of this. Let's see.
absolutely. I saw like even that great value one that Costco used to have. It was like 6.4 pounds for $50. They're
Oh,
discontinuing it.
yeah. Okay. I have this one, but I haven't opened it yet.
Okay. That one
Um,
had no interest to me because like, oh, Rice Krispie, it's gonna taste like vanilla.
I want to I know. I'm like I want to see what it tastes like. And
I
then
had that
I
one. It
don't
was underwhelming for how much
do they
Tim over at NBI talked it up.
do they have inclusions in there?
Yeah, it had like little bits of like chocolate chips and little shavings.
Okay, this is Huckleberry cheesecake.
Yep. My girlfriend has their creamer rice nut flavor and she really likes it.
Carrot cake. Dude, I mean, there's so many. If you're like, what flavors haven't they done? It's like they've done all of them. Root beer float. Nice.
Excuse
Back when I was a professional fat kid, carrot cake was the shit.
me.
Dude, yeah,
I
carrot
was a
cake
red
is good.
velvet guy because I wanted the cream cheese frosting, and carrot cake sounded too healthy, so I wanted red velvet.
What if they put inclusions of like carrots in there, like freeze dried carrots?
That would ruin it.
Dude,
No,
that would be awesome.
my desserts of choice when I was a fat kid, definitely carrot cake
Oh,
and then
pretty nice.
pecan pie.
Oh, pecan pie is really good. I had it for the first time ever last Thanksgiving, thanks to her extended family, and
It's so good.
I'm glad I brought some Humalog to that meal.
Wait,
Yeah.
is it pecan or pecan?
I call it pecan.
Pecan.
Call it put.
Um,
Nobody cares pie. The one with all the
um,
sugar.
Sugar and nuts. It's sugar
Sugar
and fat
nuts.
together. There's nothing bad that could happen there.
Most fattening pie, honey.
I know it's like the stuff that they have down here in the South. It's just there's butter and more butter. I remember growing up in like at holiday like family gatherings, we'd have like Food Network channel and stuff on, and that
Mm-hmm.
Paula Dean lady, she'd just be like, and we'll put more like she's like starts cooking and she like throws in a stick of butter and she's like, just another one for flavor. And I'm like, what
Oh
the
yeah.
freak, man? So
No,
much.
in my fat kid days, a very normal breakfast for me was four of the Pillsbury biscuit rolls because they came in packs of eight. So I would have four of them. My dad would get two, and my brother would get two. And I would get a full tube of Jimmy Dean sausage and make biscuits and gravy. And I would eat half a tube of the sausage with a bunch of milk and four Pillsbury biscuits, and then go off to high school. That was a very nutritious breakfast.
Okay. So my breakfast before school, so I would wake up at like 3:30, 4 a.m. in high school. I would
Mm-hmm.
slam a box of Special K, like the vanilla almond flavor. So I would do that with milk, and then I would have a jelly and oatmeal sandwich, and then I would make another one of those. Dude, heavy carbs. And then I
Like
make another
raw
one of
oatmeal?
those. No, like those instant oatmeal packets, like the full sugar ones. No, you know what I mean? So like I do a pack of that jelly or jam or whatever, and then bread. Okay. And so I'd have that, and then I'd slam 2 scoops of isopure. And then I would take, and so that's like I would eat that, right? So I eat that, go to the bathroom. I would do some like breathing techniques, and then I would go and I would train in the morning. And then after that, I would have prepared, uh, I think it was 4 scoops of the muscle milk Cyto gainer, which is like a full serving. And then I'd have another one of those oatmeal jelly bread sandwiches. And that would be like my breakfast and before my lunch. Yeah. So like imagine, so like living in
Well, I
Florida,
was a
right?
fat kid. God damn.
So like I was still like 100 and I don't know, like 180 pounds or something. 100, yeah, 180 around there. But like Publix has the buy one get one free deals. And so like I remember my mom buying the cereal and she would just stock up on those. So like our entire pantry would just be these like that specific flavor of Special K.
I feel like Special
But
K is underrated though.
dude,
Like a
it is.
post-workout cereal, a Raisin Bran, or a Special K, quite good. I would almost rather have that than like a Fruity Pebbles or something.
Okay. So let's do that. So someone wanted to do like a tier list of cheat meals and stuff, but this website is kind of retarded that they sent me to, and I'm not downloading anything. So speaking of cereals, let's try to find one on here that we can do. Okay. Um, oh yeah, before this, you guys didn't answer. Did you guys answer who you want to be your sponsor?
Oh, TJ did. He wanted Gorilla Mind. For me,
Mm.
I would say probably Apollon is would be a good choice for me, just because they have such a wide breadth of products. I mean, they have, of course, like the high stim stuff they're known for. Their isolate proteins, they're not going to compete with like MuscleSport for flavor, but they're pretty good.
Yeah.
The 50-50, like the blend, it's a little bit too thick for me. I don't normally like doing casein as like a post workout or something, but they do have that too. They have a really good health line. They have the carb powders. They have really all the things you could want for bodybuilding on a supplement kind of side of things. And it's all pretty good quality stuff. Flavor may not be fantastic, but I really don't eat for flavor that much anymore. So wouldn't really bother me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, they have
mean,
good stuff. I like their stuff.
today before the gym, I had a nice scoop of the Time Cop, which does not taste good at all. It's the old version with all the mushrooms and everything before they did all
Oh
their
yeah.
reformulations for the flavors.
It's like shit.
Yeah, she just said
That
it tastes like shit.
that
It's
Pico
not
too.
good.
Yeah.
I can add all the carb powder and glycerol I want. It's still not going to taste good.
Oh man.
I mean, I feel like just for the vibes, though, being sponsored by Gas would be really fun. Just because, I mean, it's a classic hard training brand. I
Yeah.
do like their clothes. I feel like kind of the animal. It's a really cool like brand identity, but I'm not impressed by any of their supplements or clothing line or anything. It's just a cool brand to kind of follow. So I really wouldn't want this stuff.
Yeah. Hmm. I mean, I would love to do Raw Revives just because they have so many products, but I don't like their culture now, and
Mm,
I don't want to be a part of that. I
yep.
would, I don't know, like if we're looking at supplements, like a pro, I think I just, it's very solid. And if I want something high stem, then I'll spend my money on some illegal high stem stuff. So
Yeah. Or just take some ephedrine.
yeah, well, ephedrine and high stem, I'm fine with that, or
Oh,
clean,
both.
or all three.
Okay.
His clock has started. The countdown has begun. That's
Why is
ridiculous.
that bad? Is that bad to mix caffeine, DMAA, ephedrine, and clen all together? Is that bad?
If you add in the slew, then there's peptides, so it's healthy.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Peptides fix all.
how much SLU and MOTS-C and SS31 would I have to do to make my mitochondria strong enough to keep me alive?
I think like 5 milligrams of SS31 a day should do the trick.
Yeah.
Uh,
Dude, imagine throwing in DMP on top of that. I bet there's people that do stuff like this, like and throw in T3. Like I've never seen anything, but I can rest assured someone somewhere in South America is doing something like that.
Probably Elliot Dermond.
Yeah.
No, he lived in Destin or still does whatever. So I trained in the same gym as him multiple times.
I bet he's a cool dude. He just gets way too in the weeds of peptides and everything because they pay him to. But he has a sick physique, so I guess he really can't argue with that. He's had rhabdo a few times, so he trains hard.
Yeah. Or you just can't recover. That's what I found. Yeah, because my rhabdo, like I trained hard, but I couldn't recover quick enough, and I think I could have. I don't know. No, maybe I just trained too hard 3 days in a row. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, there's no way I could add in more carbs or anything. When you're slamming
At some point,
like 1,000 grams of carbs. Nah. Yeah, I was trying my hardest, but like you can't retain anything because you're all stressed out and you're diarrhea and you're like, I just ate that an hour ago and I can literally see it. Like I've been there and I'm like trained way too hard. So did you have any other questions?
I had like 2 others that came through, but Instagram looks to have deleted them because looked like my notifications and it's gone. So if Dawson's watching this, I apologize. I lost your other 2 questions. DM them to me and we'll get to them hopefully next week.
Oh, and I watched one of those that Lance guy. He's doing another podcast.
Yep.
You asked the question
With
about
Tom
Apollon.
Schuster.
Some guy. I don't know his name. I can't remember.
I
Sorry.
know he and Colton Lusty were doing a podcast and they moved it to a different channel. And
yeah, that guy. Yeah, you asked
Colton,
a question
yeah.
about Apollon's
Yep.
thing.
No, Colton's a local coach here in Minneapolis. He's at a gym I used to train out of. He gets good results. I feel like I'm gonna get shit for saying this now. He's had a couple of good clients. He's really been riding them, talking all about them, and rightfully so. He got good results with them, but I feel like he can't say 2 sentences without saying his client Kyle's name. So,
yeah, dude. Speaking of that, if you have a great client that is genetically gifted and you mess up, like that's bad. I'd rather you just make sure like you nail it with them or get really close all the time. But like if you freaking just don't hit the mark, that's bad.
Yeah.
So I would rather have that problem than have a bunch of mediocre people that fall off the plan multiple times.
that's fair.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Okay. Can you see this? The cereals?
Kind of.
Oh, you on your phone?
Get off your phone.
Yeah, I'm on my
Come on,
phone.
TJ.
I should make you do the whole rotation thing. Rotate your phone. Put off of a lock. Whatever. All right. So we got Apple Jacks. The tier ranks are holy, good,
I think it's
all
holy.
right, bad, will not eat. What?
I think it's holy. I really like Apple Jacks.
How long do you let them sit in the milk? Because they
Not
tear my
long.
mouth
I mean,
up.
like I add it and then I eat them.
Okay. TJ, are you? I'm okay with Apple Jacks, I guess.
I haven't had them in such a long time. I remember them being all right. Like I don't like all right to bad. I don't remember being super impressed by them.
We can leave it in all right then.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Captain Crunch. The regular Captain Crunch peanut butter. I hated this. You have to let it sit in the milk so long.
It ripped my
And
mouth apart.
yeah, like it would be great if I didn't have to like time it correctly when
If
to
it
eat it
wasn't
because
crunchy, you want Captain Crunch to have less crunch. But let me get this straight. You just want
I want my
Captain?
mouth intact.
You just want the Captain in your mouth.
So a serving for me when I
want
was
a
a fat
soft
kid
captain in my mouth.
was a whole box. So I'd get like a mixing bowl that people make cakes out of, and a whole box was my serving. It literally turned into me just tasting blood by the end of it.
I know. I don't know why it's so resistant to milk though. Like, dude, it rips your mouth to pieces. Like but then like it's like an avocado. It's like your avocados are green and then they go to like mush in like 24 hours. This you have to like time it right, or else it goes all into mush, or it's like still cut your mouth open.
The Great Value brand does not.
Great value. Yeah,
You
they
just
don't
gotta
have
go
that.
off brand. It's the Walmart brand.
So what is this? This good? All
If
right.
you guys don't like it,
bad?
then we just put it and will not eat.
All right.
I'm ambivalent towards it.
Are you eating it, TJ? You used to eat a whole box.
No, of
I'm
cereal in general. Like I did not purchase many of those
bad.
boxes. So
I'm bad.
yeah, I probably wouldn't eat it at this point if I was to eat a cereal.
Cheerios, not just the plain. I'm thinking like all the other different types as well. I
Dude,
think
the classic honey nut.
are goat. Cheerios are great.
Yeah,
They're all
classic honey
right.
nut.
They're not good.
The
I
plain
think I'm just being
ones suck.
contrarian here, but I don't like Cheerios.
So
No.
even when we get the plain ones, I just dump a bunch of extra sugar in them. Every time I had Cheerios, I enjoyed them.
I wonder why.
Yeah, me too. The half cup of sugar I added straight to the top. That'll do the
Have
trick.
you had the other flavors now that they've been coming out with? Like
No,
they got
I've
cookies
never
and
had a
cream.
flavored. I've never had a flavored Oreo. I haven't had
I
Oreo
haven't
since
either.
before they started making flavored Oreos. It's the same with all the cereals.
Have you had a golden Oreo?
Oh, that's the one with like the vanilla.
Yeah.
I have had those.
Okay.
They were okay. I preferred the classic double stuffed.
You know, Oreos kind of, they're right. I don't know what they are. Like they're not a cookie because they're like vegan friendly, but
Oh, I don't.
I'll
care.
definitely go with the golden. That's more like, white power.
The Trader Joe's golden Oreos are really good.
Dude, the last time I had anything Oreo related was the Trader Joe's ones. I think I had the normal ones. I thought those were really good.
But Cheerios, we can leave it in all right, in my opinion.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
I
Chips
feel
Ahoy?
like you have to add stuff to Cheerios to make it over the top.
Yeah.
for anything.
Like
I've never
Chips
had it.
Ahoy, it's bad.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It's bad.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
I mean, if someone put them in front of me, I would eat them, but I would never purchase them. Got like a
Let's see
big
what
family
else.
bag for post-workout one
We
day.
got frosted mini wheats on here.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we do. I like those. Those are
Dude,
very good.
that was one of my go-tos, whether it was the minis or like the full-size ones. I did like that. I thought I was being healthy. I was not.
Extra fiber.
Hey, fiber never hurts. Actually,
I think
that's
they're-
a lie. I ate a whole box of the Fiber One
Really?
brownies once, and I was in a severe pain. But fiber does hurt.
I will say,
When I have
sorry.
clients that have celiac, I put mini wheats in their diet.
I enjoyed it every time.
Non-negotiable.
I will say, frosted mini wheats are not a good post-workout cereal because, again, like that's the thing with Captain Crunch. If you're eating 300 grams of them, they will tear your mouth up.
Yeah. That's I feel like that's the majority of these. You have the mini chocolate frosted
I have
wheats.
no idea. I've never had those.
I've never had them either.
Right. Me either. Cinnamon Toast
They look
Crunch.
bad.
That was a
That's
classic
holy.
for me too.
That's holy.
Yeah.
The milk is great afterwards too.
Oh,
Cocoa
it's
Pebbles.
incredible.
This is
Sometimes I
holy, I
say they're
believe.
good.
Good.
Yeah.
This is
I think they're good.
post workout as well.
So
They get so soggy so fast.
as
I
of
know.
now, I like the rice-based cereals. So like they would be high. Like if I was going to purchase some cereal for a post-workout carb, Cocoa Pebbles would probably be on that list.
Yeah.
But
And you
if
can
you
make.
want in holy, we can put it in holy.
Oh, we'll put in good. I'm okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it quite made the cut for Holy.
Fruit Loops. Dude, my
Fine.
kids eat this so much. They like the ones with marshmallows. They just run through it.
The first couple times I had them, I remember thinking they're incredible, and then they kind of lost their luster for me over time. Like that
Frosted
luster.
Luster.
Also, flakes, I think they're either all right or bad.
Oh.
I think they're kind of all right.
I was a fan, so lowest I could say for myself is all right.
All right.
If
Okay,
it's
Honey
too
Bunches of
soggy
Oats.
too fast. Oh,
Honey Bunches of Oats.
think
It'd be great
very
if it
good.
had. Yeah, I like the ones that are like, dang it, freaking mouse. What is this one? I don't
Are
know.
those chocolate?
I think it's
I think
chocolate.
it's chocolate.
They're good. Yeah, I like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I for sure liked it.
the honey roasted. I think they're good.
I
Yeah,
think they're very good.
I think they're all good. The ones with almonds.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I used to try to get all the little oat clusters out before anybody else got the cereal.
That's all.
Do we have Lucky Charms on this list?
No.
No. If
What are
tricks,
we doing?
What is good though is the Lucky Charms marshmallows in Fruity Pebbles. That's a post-workout.
There you go.
Okay. These all
Honey
these
Nut
other ones.
Cheerios, that's holy.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Have you guys? Do you guys ever make like cereal bars with marshmallows and stuff?
We
Use the other
did
cereals?
growing up. I mean, I haven't done it in years, but we did. It was like a St. Patrick's thing. We would do like Rice Krispies with green marshmallows.
I've never been a marshmallow person, so I cannot say I have.
All right.
I'd have s'mores with just chocolate and graham cracker. That was the shit. Leave the marshmallow. I just light it on fire. Like I want to burn this marshmallow, so I just light it on fire, and then it'd be too burnt, and then I'll just eat the chocolate and graham cracker.
I think we're good with that list. That list kind of sucked. Really? I like marshmallows. I like Peeps. You put them in the microwave.
Peeps, I don't like. I do like regular marshmallows, but when you put sugar coating on a sugar meringue, it's too much.
I've never
They have,
once
like,
had
other
a Peep
flavors.
and thought it was good.
Have you been seeing like the things where they put these giant marshmallows inside the air fryer?
I've seen those in the past, yes, but not recently. They do blow up quite quickly.
Yeah, I feel like you can put anything in an air fryer and it'll go viral. Yeah,
Dude, the air fryer is goated.
yeah.
Just use every
Yeah,
day.
I remember whenever we only had George Foreman's when those came out. Man,
I used to use those all the time. That was also great.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree though that those Ninja countertop appliances, that would be a great bodybuilder sponsorship. So you got the Creamies, you could get the blenders, you could get the air fryers. Hell, they have vacuums.
Yeah, it's true.
So that would be a good bodybuilding sponsorship. It's like a Shark Ninja.
The Ninja Creamy it's basically black magic. I literally go like unsweetened vanilla almond milk, 2 servings of Away isolate, and then I mix the Quest Reese's Pieces, like a third of a pack, as my mix in. My favorite flavor in there was actually the Body Tech straight peanut butter flavor, not the chocolate peanut butter, but their straight peanut butter. That always made the best ice cream.
feel like I'm so
I've
left out in the bodybuilding piece. I've never had a cream.
yeah, I don't have one either.
That is unacceptable behavior.
I,
I
I eat too much. I don't want extra volume in my shakes.
Yeah, like I used to drink a lot more like prep shakes, and now I don't. I can't fit it in my stomach. I get so distended, and I'm trying to. What I've noticed now is after all those years of doing it, I have this slight hernia around my belly button, and I don't know what to do about it. It's not enough to get a mesh on it, but I uh, I don't want it to push out anymore.
It's a little random, but I tell you about the guy I knew that tried to give himself gyno surgery in the parking lot of the hospital? So he
Excuse
goes
me,
get
what?
stitched up after. Yeah. He, he got himself cut open, then figured out
It's
he
like
couldn't get
on
it.
meth.
So he had to go get stitched up and he didn't even get any of the tissue out.
That's such a good idea, though. Do it right in front of
Yeah.
the ER.
So he bought all the sanitary tools, everything that he needed, and he literally set it up in his driver's seat. Was he got himself opened up? So he cut himself open. He had the numbing topical stuff and couldn't get any of it out. And he ended up going to get the stitches without getting any tissue out.
That's awesome. I would, if I was working in the ER that day, I would just be like, what? What the heck, dude? I would rearrange his nipple to like a different area.
Should have took it out for him. Be like, it's already opened up. We might
Heck
as
no,
well-
man. I'd be like, I'd start stuffing more stuff in there. I'd start pulling pulling fat out from other places, like coming in here, taking up my
No,
time.
horrible person.
It's,
He,
it's,
he needed to
it's,
save 10 grand. Come on.
it's
I feel like it
yeah.
would be way easier just to work harder and make the 10 grand than to go through that.
Dude, did he numb himself? Like, what was the
Yeah,
backstory with that?
Yeah, he got the whole like topical numbing cream. I think he even had
Just
yeah.
topical.
I even like buy lidocaine on the black market or anything.
Yeah,
He
it's not
bought
like in,
this was well over a decade ago, so I don't remember exactly. He purchased multiple things that were needed for it. I don't remember what he bought exactly for the numbing, but he did have some numbing agent.
dude, I would have heroin before I, I do that to myself.
I don't think I can do anything intravenous. I've taken plenty of shots, IM or subcutaneous. Oh no, I think I'd struggle going intravenous.
Yeah, it's not fun. I'm not the biggest fan of doing that. I've done
I'm
it
gonna do it.
twice to myself. And both times I like wanted to like throw up. You're like, "Ooh."
Yeah. I'm fine with other people doing it. Like if I go to get blood drawn or whatever, but I don't think I could physically do it myself.
Do you watch them whenever they draw your blood?
I don't like look away. I generally just sit there and be like, do what you got to do.
Ain't my first rodeo.
Yeah, we're like it didn't phase me at all. But I was donating blood once, and they were giving the plasma back or whatever in the red bus. And apparently, because my veins look so good, they turned up the speed. They're like, "Oh, if you feel any kind of discomfort, just let us know." And I'm sitting there, and it was starting to hurt. I'm like, I wonder what they classify as discomfort. I didn't say anything till it was literally squirting out of my arm. I'm like, excuse me, I think this might qualify as discomfort. It was a bubble. They had to like tape it down. Yeah, blew my
Yeah,
shit.
man. I like look at the person, I look at my arm, I look at the person because I'm like making sure that they're like getting it the right spot.
Do you
But
know what
I'm
to
always
do?
like, yeah, I'm always like, because they make me pump my arm up too much. And I'm like, oh, you can already see my vein. There's no reason to do this. And so there's only been a few people. There's a Quest location that I go to that I know some of the nurses there as far as like they know me, they recognize me. So I'm always like, I'll wait for this lady. 'Cause she's the only one that hasn't blown out my vein. So I'm like, you know, I'm very particular because everybody else, like they either, again, they like pump it up too much and then the vials fill so fast and I'm filling up like 10 to 15 vials every time I go.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So I'm like, why are you doing this? So
I remember one of the
uh,
times I went to get my blood drawn for blood work. I believe it was a Quest, and there was like a trans female or male that was so rude and mean to me. Like I literally got yelled at because I had my water bottle with, and I put it on something like across the room out of the way. She's like, that can't go there. And then I put it on by my chair. She's like, that can't go there. I'm like, well, goddamn, where? So I'm literally holding it between my knees as she's fucking stabbing me. She was so mean to me. Well, he, it. I don't know what it was. A little,
trannies, don't
a
know.
little blender action.
Um, man, yeah, I don't see anything with the Toronto Pro. Anyways, I do have some questions. We'll wrap it up with this one. Probably take. Actually, here's a quick one. Uh, what do you? What's your opinions on the people that drink the carbonated energy drinks like during their workout? Like you see them walking around the gym. Like
I've
what?
drank plenty of Gorilla Minds, just like whatever. I had it in the morning. I wasn't going to take a pre workout, and I'm still drinking it as I get to the gym. I've done that too many times to talk shit about it.
But like you never.
No,
I've seen people crack it open like right there, and then like they train legs, and I'm like, how are you doing that? You know, I'm not. Or they sip on it throughout the entire time. It's like, oh, Lonnie knew. I'm like, I don't know what you're getting out of it. Is my thing for some of these people, and a lot of them, they're not bodybuilders or whatever. They're just like regular people, getting into fitness. But like I use energy drinks just throughout the day as a beverage. I've never used it as a pre-workout.
I definitely don't classify it as a pre workout, but if I'm sipping on caffeine, if I recently opened one, I'm going to bring it in with me and I'll continue to drink it. I've never had much like a sensitive stomach. I've never dealt with many stomach issues. So none of that's ever bothered me.
Um, I just find it weird.
it's
Um,
strange. I mean, the gym is always selling them because they make a crazy profit margin on them. So more power to the
yeah,
gym. I don't think it's a great idea, but I have no ill will to the people who do because I got a bunch of friends who do. It's like there's better options than buying a $4 energy drink at the gym, but you do you.
yeah. I mean, I would rather do the ones that are non-carbonated that are meant to be pre-workout. I don't know. It's just a weird thing for that I see as far as like consumer behavior, and they see Monster Energy or Alani Nu as a pre-workout or Bloom as a pre-workout. Um, I don't know how they get that idea. Like I don't know where they saw that. I don't know. I have no idea.
So many people
Anyways,
call just like a standard energy drink a pre workout. I'm like, that is in no classification a pre workout. Yeah, that's a source of caffeine, but that doesn't make it a pre workout.
yeah. Um, anyways, 5 things that are a waste of money and 5 things that are worth the purchase for someone getting into a bodybuilding competition. This will be our last question.
You want to do like 5 things each, or you want to get five as a
Total
group?
as a
Okay.
group.
I think pretty much any on the shelf fat burner, I I personally have never seen. Like if I'm going to utilize a fat burner, I'm going to use something that's actually going to work. I'm not going to spend $70 for whatever carb blocker that GNC is selling.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
like one of those like blended ones that are advertised
Yeah,
for that. Yeah. Okay.
I would say
Um,
over-the-counter testosterone boosters, kind of in the same vein. Like you think taking Shilajit and fenugreek is gonna make you jacked? No, no, it's not. If you're gonna be wanting to raise testosterone, do it the right way.
yeah.
sure.
And this is for people getting into bodybuilding competitions. I think right off the bat, um, I would say 90% of the people doing this, paying for meal prep companies, I think is a waste of money.
Absolutely.
Like unless you're like an elite person with like a like a professional that has like a really demanding lifestyle because of
Mhm.
work, I understand that. But you're also making the money, so it's not a waste of money to you. But for the
If you're
average kid,
asking what's a waste of money, that means you probably budget is a factor. And if budget is in any realm of your life, you don't need to be buying either pre-prepped meals, like like oh, I want 300 grams of rice and 12 ounces of chicken, and just
yeah,
buying that from like MegaFit or whatever. That's going to be a waste. Or buying like the pre-cooked proteins, also a waste. Not as bad, but still bad.
like they have like maltodextrin in there, a bunch of other fillers and preservatives. But
Mhm.
I also don't like uh what's that? The fit factor meals.
Factor.
I factor meals. I hate that
Yeah.
commercial to where it's a young kid. He's in his 20s. He's like, because of my grind of my life, I go to school, I got to work out. He's like, I don't have time to like prep my meals. I'm like, what are you freaking talking about? Like you know what I mean? Like they're making like no one has time to prep their meals. I'm like, you're literally losing a skill in your life in order for like time management, cooking, understanding nutrition and things like that, and money um management. Like you're missing all of that, and you're saying that you don't have time to cook prep your meals for like the meals
Before
that look terrible.
before this podcast, I was rushing around because I was blending a bunch of rice because I ran out of cream of rice this morning, and I cooked about 6 pounds of beef, and it took for both of those 15 minutes.
Yeah. And you're waiting for the stuff to cook. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
so
doing
that's why
laundry.
I'm doing the blending or doing the laundry or
Yeah.
anything
Like
else.
when people are like, "Oh, I've done laundry all day," I'm like, you have to wait like an hour per load. Like, what are you doing? You
Like
know,
doing
you're
like
not.
2 socks and that's a load of laundry.
It's like, dude, you're not freaking scrubbing it by hand.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so that's three things. What else is not worth the money?
Buying all the latest apparel drops. If you're just getting
Yeah,
into this, you don't need to have, if you're 160 pounds as a guy, you don't need to be buying Alpha Lead and Gasp and Echo Vision clothing. You don't need to be spending $100 on a pair of sweatpants. You can
yeah,
buy $15 ones at Costco in a off the rack Nike shirt for $20.
yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
don't get me wrong, I like the apparel brands, but if you're just getting into bodybuilding and budget is a huge factor for you, there are a lot cheaper brands than that. And if you look good, you'll look good.
yeah. And it's funny, like whenever you see bodybuilders come up who are now like prestigious, you see like they're always wearing like back in the day, like, non-branded apparel and things like that. And until they got a sponsorship, then they started
Mm,
and making money. Then they started actually buying things that were like more expensive or more trendy. Yeah.
like I said, I mean, I
Um,
like the Gas Plug. I said like I would love to be sponsored by them. I haven't placed an order with them in like 2 years,
yeah.
just because I don't need more gym clothing. I go to the gym 3 4 days a week. I need 4 shirts, 4 pairs of sweatpants. That's if I'm not doing a load of laundry. If I'm doing like one load of laundry a week, you don't need that many. You can rewear stuff.
Yeah. I buy it whenever it's on sale. So that because I have to throw mine out so often because it smells. But I also do laundry like every day because of kids. Um, let's see, something else. I think buying an expensive camera and a tripod to record yourself, I think that's a waste of money
What
because you
Yeah,
have
about the
your
waist?
phone.
What about like the sweet sweat waist trainers?
Waist trimmers. Yeah, I
Because
don't.
you see a lot of people use those.
maybe you gotta
Yeah, I
follow enough
do.
bikini athletes, but I see like 2 people in my daily life wear those, and I see a lot more young kids wearing the trendy apparel or drinking again bought at the gym energy drinks or anything like
Yeah,
that.
No, there was
yeah.
quite a few people I knew that it was under their clothes like I would have never known. But then like they go to change after and they're pulling off like a sweatband. I'm like, what are we
Yeah, a
doing?
lot of the men's physique guys, they're doing that. And I'd say if you have to do that when you're first starting off, you don't have the genetics of a V taper. I think that comes whenever you're adding in size and food volume. You have to learn to start to control your waist. I think that's where they can help be like mindful. But in the beginning, man, you're building the muscle. You're not slamming tons of food. I don't think food volume is your tool to use. I think food quality is your tool, and food timing, I think, is your tool when it comes to just getting into bodybuilding. But yeah, slamming like foods that are just going to bloat you and you going from 2,000 calories up to 6,000, that doesn't make sense. Like you have to slowly get up there and then you can start using those just to be mindful, but I don't think they're necessary at all.
Or even
So,
just wear a weightlifting belt and it will do a similar thing. So those base trainers, they're not squeeze me skinny. It's just,
yeah.
hey, maybe I shouldn't be letting my belly distend when I'm breathing.
Yeah. Just don't be a douchebag wearing those things around whenever you're like 160 pounds and you're like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Real quick,
five things
I did send you an Instagram post. The owner of the jiu-jitsu gym I train at, she competed like 2 or 3 times. She has a pretty crazy physique, especially considering I think she's only done like maybe 2 shows. If she wanted to stick with, I think she competed in figure. If she wanted to stick with it, I think she could have done very well. She still looks pretty crazy in the gym.
Did you send it to me?
Yeah, from I think it was the Paw Control Instagram page on Instagram, because that's what was logged in when I looked it up.
I don't know. I don't see it.
All right, well, never mind. Be that way.
I don't see it. It's, you can resend it from your account. I don't see anything else. Okay, five things that are worth the money. One,
Coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
Training and nutrition coach, and we can throw in a posing coach.
Yeah, I would say posing coach and prep coach.
It's crazy how many people try to skip both of those. They're like, oh, it's not worth the small investment. I'm like, your life is going to be so much worse and you're going to look like shit because you're not willing to make the relatively small investment. And you're going to waste almost the same amount of money thinking some trend like fat burner fucking is going to do anything for you.
And I would say the majority of the time, you're not going to find one coach that does all of that. I think it's very hard to find someone like that. Like, I mean, how many Chris Tuttles are out there, you know? But a coach for the off season that can also do your prep, and then typically they can do nutrition and like PED cycles if you want to get into that route. But usually, like, I don't do posing. Like, I have no idea.
Those would be like 2 things. Would be like a bodybuilding coach and a posing coach. I think that's 2 of the 5.
Yeah,
easy.
And the posing coach, I recommend in person. I do not recommend. I've done Chris Tuttle's video one, and it's just still too hard. Like, you need to be there, visual cues, let them like poke you in certain areas. So yeah.
I worked with John Lofthouse because he worked with Ben for a few years, so he did some virtual posing with me, and I mean it helped, but it's still not great. So there's a local classic pro at my gym that I'm going to pay to do a few sessions with. I may do a little bit of a virtual one just for kind of fine tuning who is, but that's what they do. But I feel like getting an in-person posing coach, especially when you're first starting, is huge.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like a big name like what's his name? Like Heel with Steel was big for a while, or Posing Sensei. Don't need to get a big name one, but just someone, a local pro should be able to help you with basic posing.
Yeah, because if your coach is going to do it and he's not a posing coach, he or she, they're going to make you pose like they pose, and it might not fit your body, or they're bodybuilder and they don't really know all the classic ones. Yeah, it's just I had Matt Porter teach me how to pose, and that was not good. We are not the same.
Yep.
I think another good investment is
blood work,
food scale.
Food scale, yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
I feel like that shouldn't even count.
I feel like
do you know how many people don't have them though? You know how many
Yes.
clients?
So
It's just-
a food scale, but I had multiple people. They signed up and they were giving their weights in the check-ins, and then I found out they're just using the random scale at the gym and like tracking in the middle of the day. Like, it's $20. Go get at least a basic digital scale for your house. What are we doing?
Scales of all kinds, and it's not going to tell you
Yes.
your body fat percentage. It's
No.
not.
No.
You want to be consistent with when you're weighing yourself and the numbers on that specific scale, because it's like it is computed for like that specific scale. But then also, even if it's inconsistent, it's still consistent enough. So if you're consistent with inconsistencies, it's consistent. So,
Yep.
let's see. Was blood work? Yeah, blood work.
I think blood work. It doesn't have to be super fancy. You don't need to be testing your IGF every 2 days. But I feel like basic CBC, CMP, cystatin C, GGT, A1C. Those are bare minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's like blood markers and basic organ.
And the one thing that I find when people do start doing this, don't have anxiety about it. You see some blood markers high, barely high.
Mhm.
There's some blood markers I want to be high. If it's not high,
I want to
you're,
make AST, ALT.
yeah,
want to
you're not
those
training
high.
hard enough. Or if you're on gear, your gear's fake. Like I want to see some enhancements on some of those blood panels to be out of the reference range. For example, hematocrit, hemoglobin, like platelets, not so much platelets, but like the hematocrit, hemoglobin, I want to see it more elevated. You're going to have more oxygen consumption. If it's not, man, and you're taking X amount of gear, like it's probably bunk, man. Like I'm sorry, unless you're taking heavy measures preventative to lower it. But in my opinion, it's better to have it. It's better to have it. I'm not talking like 70 on hematocrit, but I'm saying like 52,
Up
53.
I was like 50 to 55. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be worried. I wouldn't be blood dumping. Over 55, I'd be getting more worried. But I mean,
Yeah.
mine's normally the highest I've ever been is a 50.1. And that's running like 3 grams. So
And it's in correlation with everything else. So like with your kidneys, what's your blood pressure look
Yep.
like? I mean, there's so many other variables that come into play. But as far as like clotting factors, I mean, I would say platelets. If the platelets are high and everything else is low, you're like, okay, go see a doctor. You have something going on.
I think you just mentioned
Um,
blood pressure cuff.
yeah.
So I feel like we kind of have 5 there. We have bodybuilding coach, posing coach, digital scales for food and body weight, lab work, and blood pressure cuff.
Yeah. Home medical devices. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
Glucose
one
monitor
thing.
too, but I'd rather if someone's like making a decision like I only have $50 to spend, I'd rather see them get a blood pressure cuff than a glucose monitor.
Yeah. The most expensive thing out of all this is going to be your coach.
Or
for sure.
enhanced.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
someone's enhanced blood pressure for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But another expensive thing that could be expensive depending on your like how far deep you want to go into bodybuilding, how big of the investment, a good gym membership. I think
Oh,
the
absolutely.
environment is huge, but then also if there's competitive bodybuilders that go to that gym, they're not mean. They will answer your questions. Don't interrupt them. Ask them while they're doing their cardio or whatever, or chilling.
Or tap them on the shoulder when they unrack a squat.
Yeah. Just get in the mirror.
But if they just
Hey,
finished
that's
a set of lunges and they're breathing heavy, that's the best time to ask me a question.
Yeah. But I mean, like they're always going to answer questions. They freaking love it. And if you're scared, here's the best thing. This is the tip. Give them a compliment first about how huge they are, or how shredded they are, or how strong they are. They'll be like, "Thanks, dude," and then they'll start answering your questions if you're that scared. But
Or a
people
man.
don't. Oh yeah.
If you try
Yeah.
to compliment a woman, they're gonna think you're some creep. So
Yeah.
be careful.
Oh,
I will say one question
I'll
you
tell them
should
if they're
not-
peeled though.
Yeah.
That one's probably safe.
Yeah.
You look really toned.
Nice tits.
And arrested.
I like that surgery work he had done.
Yeah. Those
The
glutes were-
BBL is really paying off.
Yeah.
I mean, like, one question you should not, your very first question you ask the local pro or local big guy should
What
not be
gear are
where
you
do you
on?
get your gear?
Yeah.
Or what gear you're on, or where do you get your gear? Like, if you're friends with them, I'm happy to talk with my gym friends. But if it's a guy, first time I've seen him into the gym, and he asks me like, "Hey, where are you buying your gear?" I'm gonna tell him to fucking get lost.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm Maddie. What are you talking about? As I was almost 260 and peeled, like 100% natural. I'm
If I get
offended.
asked, "Are you natty or not?" I take it as an insult these days.
Oh, for sure. When I was at my peak, if someone didn't automatically assume I was on gear, I'm like, I'm doing something wrong.
I was kind of offended yesterday because the gym I go to had like a big cookout. So my girlfriend's parents came up. You want to know what they asked me? Are you
What?
in a health phase? I'm like, oh, come on. And like, I've talked to them, like they know I'm enhanced, but they asked, are you in a health phase? Like, oh, that
So
one
food
hurts
like a
a little
marshmallow.
bit.
Looking soft there. But you notice the one thing that we didn't say that's worth the money is steroids. You know,
Yeah.
Especially in
like
the
I,
beginning. You have to get the other foundations in place
Mm.
beforehand. Like,
yeah,
you should be eating consistently, training consistently, and doing it well before considering.
I'm not the guy who's going to say, like, oh, you should be 30 and been in the gym for 10 years before you even think about going enhanced. But I think at least like a year to 2 years of following some kind of diet. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it shouldn't be if it fits your macros.
yeah.
And it shouldn't be you're joining the gym and buying your first bottle of test in the same week.
So I lost 130 pounds, did my first show naturally, and I got my first cycle as a birthday present for my 18th birthday.
So dope, man. I wish I got a Father's Day gift like that. Just a bottle of Trin.
Be like,
I'm dropping
Father's
hints to
Day
my
in,
wife
like
too.
a week and a half, right?
my
No,
family's
I'm
like, you're not smoking crack?
I've sent you a
What do you want?
package.
Next time.
Testosterone? Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm dropping hints though, because I'm like, you know, because some dude came up to me at the gym and he's like, oh, it's not dude, like young kid. He was like, you take Trin? And I was just like, and I told my wife, I was like, hey, that dude just asked if I take Trin. I'm like, I don't, but that would be great if I had some, huh?
I can mail you some if you want.
But
Don't have your address.
but yeah, man, too many kids. It's I have to see progress first. If there's no
Mhm.
progress in the things that you're doing without drugs, then there's no reason to add drugs. It's just going to cause it's going to cause more problems, I think, in the future. And usually that takes a lot longer than what people think. And my nephew, hope you're watching, he's like asking me about these peptide questions. He's like, I got blood work. Can you read over it so you can recommend me peptides? I'm like, why do you like, no. So I'm like, dude, it's
I'm
just,
probably down to about 5% on my phone. But do you think
Yeah.
like a TRT for someone that's older but trying to get back in shape or get back in the gym, is that the same thing of wanting them to wait? Because like
no.
a true TRT is something I would introduce pretty early if I had like a
Mhm.
40, 45-year-old male that used to be in really good shape. He had
Yeah.
blood work. He's on the lower end. That would be a week one thing for me, probably.
Yeah, if your
I would
hormones
agree
are
with
out of whack,
that.
I mean, like that's not even about becoming a bodybuilder or building muscle. That's about optimizing your
But
vitality.
being happy,
Yeah, you know, get that
getting off
dick moving.
antidepressants.
Yeah. So,
Okay, we're on the same.
yeah, that's
I think my
totally.
antidepressant is testosterone.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I was able to get off like all the anxiety meds, depression meds, everything. Like, hey, I'm taking some tests now. I feel good. I'm getting rid of this
Yeah.
stuff.
Be like, here's a vial of test and a barbell. Bye-bye.
Feel better.
Yeah, man. If my total test drops below like 1200, I don't feel good. I like it like higher. I feel confident. That's how I make my money. Confidence. All right. We'll leave it there. I think that's enough. Plus, I have to go eat some food.
Right. And I gotta go get ready to watch people get punched in the face at the White House.
Hey,
You watch
I'm
it?
gonna watch.
I
I'm gonna watch
wish.
hockey.
What do you mean? Paramount Plus, it's like 99 cents to sign up if you're not already a member.
I gotta call my parents this evening. I call them every Sunday.
Yeah, it starts 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is what I'm at. So it's not like, how late do you talk to them?
I'm gonna call them here in like an hour if I go to bed by 9 p.m.
Oh, okay. You might
Hi,
get
Mom.
a fight
Hi,
or
Dad.
two if you wanted.
I may have to get it. You're right.
I'll look into it. I like people beating up on each other.
Once in a lifetime, one of my older clients yesterday did ask me, what do I think about it? Because she thought it was a fight to the death.
Oh,
Ooh, that's
I'm
awesome.
like, oh, watching the fights this weekend at the White House. She's like, oh, how do you feel about that? Do you think they should be doing that? She legitimately thought it was a fight to the death.
the
Yeah.
bare knuckle stuff is a bit far for me. Like UFC, I like. It's also really cool. I know you're about to die here, TJ, so I apologize.
No, you're good.
That medieval armored fighting bird hurt, that stuff is cool.
I've only seen clips on like Instagram and stuff, just short clips. One thing I have zero interest in is the slap fight. Like I
Yeah, I
have
don't care about.
less than zero interest in it.
Yeah.
You're an
Me too.
idiot.
But a
Yeah.
dude in medieval armor with a mace hitting another dude with his, or they punch each other in suits of armor. Like I don't need the sword, and I'm just gonna punch you.
Oh,
That is cool.
so if you take that and you also add in the slap boxing, that I would watch. Medieval slap boxing. Oh yeah, just freaking armored up and just go at each other. Let's do that. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, but I'm so hyped. So I got to get this shit ready because I
All right.
still got to grill up my chicken that we're going to be eating during.
All right. Sounds
All right.
bodybuilder. All right,
That's
man.
right.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh,